Yeah. Oh yeah, good. Just make sure you get real close to it like that. So
It's a backup for Celine Dion.
Cool.
I should have thought I was gonna say. I was like, oh, what's my intro gonna be? T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, and. Welcome back. It's 106.3 WRFC LP, RochesterFreeRadio.com. I'm already breaking stuff. It's been a really cool week, actually. I've really enjoyed myself. The weather hasn't been too bad at all here. We've got a fantastic guest in the house. One of my longest cohorts, the most creative person that I know, bar none. Just a cool person. He's a mullet shampoo magnet. He is a creative consultant. He is a designer and just an all-around purveyor of weirdness. My friend Phil Montgomery. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm present. I'm accounted for. I'm here. Another day, roaming free.
Yeah, listen, I will never ever forget. You're the one that trained me on how to avoid being just sniped out in a apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
You remember how I actually fell for a trap. So I walk into his house. We're supposed to hang out, have a meeting or something like that. I walk in, the door's open, and there's a beer in the hallway. You know what? You'd think to yourself, like, hey, there's a random beer in the hallway. Don't pick up and drink the random beer in the hallway. You'd think that would be common sense for most people. Well, I was done in 13 seconds. Homeboy hopped out with a gas mask, a machete, no beer. It was a wrap. So I wouldn't have lasted anything. So I appreciate the pre-COVID training on the apocalypse party.
Yeah, no problem. I always try to make sure my friends are staying sharp, making good choices. So.
Oh God, yeah, that was just an interesting situation. So you were just on World Star Hip Hop.
I was on World Star Hip Hop. Yeah, that is true.
How the hell did that happen?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty impressive that I was on World Star Hip Hop and didn't have to fight anybody and don't have a single song out. But, yeah. So, well, anyways, by the way, I found out, like, this might be a bummer for a lot of people out there because I found this out shortly after I was on there, is apparently you can, like, pay, or a lot of rappers, like, not as big as rappers, pay to be on there. So, like, you can pay 10 grand and be on World Star Hip Hop. And so, like, someone was like, oh, you just paid to be on there. I was like, wait a minute, you could pay to be on there? I would have been on there years ago.
Really?
Yeah, kind of like, you either gotta, like, do some crazy video or, like, you know how, like, the fight videos.
Right.
But obviously they release, all the new music and all that stuff. But I guess other smaller rappers, the big rappers, they just put their stuff on and, get, like, exclusive rights to it and stuff.
Ones that have big traction already, the big label money.
Right,
okay.
Right. So, yeah, but, I was lucky enough to actually get to produce a behind-the-scenes video for a music video that was featured on World Star Hip Hop, and then I was also able to get to be on kind of both sides of the camera.
Why are you being shy? Who was the music video about? Come on.
So I actually went down and shot some behind-the-scenes content with me, my videographer. Shout out to Nick Takes Photos. He'll get super butthurt if I don't mention him.
Nick Takes Photos. What up, homie?
We went down and shot a bunch of content with Riff Raff and Yellow Wolf for their music video, The $1 Million Mullet.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fire. Were you able to, like, hang out with them, chill, party? Like, what was that vibe like?
Oh, we did it. We did it all.
That Monte Carlo in the video was sexy as hell, man.
Oh, dude, I know that's your style.
So sexy, man.
Basically, I know we've done an interview and stuff before, but I own a shampoo company for guys with, like, long hair and mullets. Riff Raff is signed to our shampoo company. Aside from doing the shampoo thing, I'm also a creative consultant, so I do, like, theme interior design, theme
the
stuff
sets for the Migos and
right, yeah, different like theme sets, and like I've worked with different rappers before. So like Riff's agent and his team calls me, they're great, but they're like quick decisions, like, hey, we need this tomorrow, we're letting you know today at midnight. But
they're not messing with like a couple $100 budgets here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? There's several zeros on the back of anything they're touching.
Yeah. I mean, he's the real deal agent. But so he kind of called us and was like, hey, we need a bunch of mullet shampoo like down on set for this video, and it's like in 2 days. I was like, at this point, like, I can just fly it down my damn self, like, then bring it there. And he's like, all right, perfect, then bring that videographer that you use that we like. and then we'll just have you come down, make a couple custom things for the music video, and then we'll just have you come down, help us do the video, shoot a bunch of Miracle Flow content.
Where'd you guys shoot? What city guys were you?
We flew down to Fort Myers. No, that's a lie. We did not fly to Fort Myers. West Palm Beach. And Riff Raff's got a, I guess the term is like a compound, I guess is what you would call it down there.
He would have a compound.
Yeah.
He was a unique individual.
Yeah.
You think it's an act? It's not an act.
Oh no, I mean it's not. I mean it's not like
He's really out there like that. Like
yeah. I mean, well, you've got to meet him too because I brought him here to do a show, but like you know what I mean, like that creativity, that like I guess wackiness people call that's not an act. He's not like putting it on. Like he's
that guy.
That's his train of thought. You know what I mean? Like he's also a normal guy that like feeds his dogs in the morning and stuff. You know what anybody else? He is also Riff Raff, like 24 hours a day. But yeah, so we got to go down there. They actually shot the music video in the middle of a swamp.
I saw, man. That looked like it was sticky.
Oh my dude,
It looked so sticky.
Coming from upstate and being cold and now like a Florida swamp, I was just sweating bullets.
Everything just stuck to you.
Yeah, we were there for like probably 10 hours. Like, you know, the only thing people don't tell you about is like when you're doing a music video, like you think it's all like, oh, it's gonna be this and this and this, and like don't get me wrong, that's there, but like it's a lot of hearing the same song over and over and over again.
Same
like
cuts over and over, and just standing around half the time waiting for other people to finish their thing, and just wait and wait and wait and wait.
Making sure you get it right, and then you know like the director wants to get this shot or this shot.
Four more angles of the same exact thing done the same exact way.
Yeah, I mean this is a pretty huge production. Like even I would say for like Riff and Yellow Wolf standards, but you know they had like pyrotechnics at the end and stuff, and you know like I mean it was the real deal. We were there for hours, and then there was a little after party at Riff Raff's house. We went to that. You know that was something. You know? You go. You know, there's two things I want to say. Is one, like, yes, it's a hip hop music video after party. So like, all those things you think that are like happening and stuff, and like girls and all this stuff, like it's all there. Like that's happening. But I think like what should be noted is like when you get to a certain point, like everybody was down to work after that. Like it was an after party. Like people are hanging out, like doing all this stuff. But like Riff and Yellow Wolf are recording a live feed. They're also, you know, they're producers. They're working on a track. I'm with Riff's barber, and we have a whole like display set up, and we're shooting a Miracle Flow commercial in Riff's living room.
That's so
like,
dope, though. Like a hustle circle. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all partying, but you're doing your thing as well. I like that a lot, man. I feel like that should be a more regular thing. Everybody just chilling, doing their thing, but also grinding at the same time. That should definitely be happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an experience. You know, like you just kind of look at yourself and you're like, I'm in Riff Raff's living room having my hair cut into a mullet. Like, well, everything. It's just a big white, like, Florida castle with neon lights everywhere. There's people riding, like, vintage neon GT dynos around. Like, it's just huskies, like, just roaming free. It's pretty wacky, but weirdly calculated for how, like, free range, I guess it is, you know?
Well, obviously the artists, they have a vision in mind. They know what they want to do. They know what they want to accomplish. And especially if you're collabing with an artist, I think at that level, it's kind of like, this is what we want, and this is what we're moving towards. No matter what you're doing through your day, that's always in your head because that's your next big thing. That's where your budget's at. That's where your nuts at. That's where you put everything into. It's not like we're going to drop a flyer set for $250. It's like $250,000 music video. It's a little bit different. You're going to make sure you put every single thing you got into that. Especially like I feel like right now, Riff Raff and Yellow Wolf are at different parts of their career, but also on like a same trajectory. Because it seemed like Riff Raff was kind of like go pop culture, like fall off a little bit, and then all of a sudden he starts working with all these producers and artists, and I feel like he's coming back better than he was before.
Oh yeah, well, because here's the thing: when people think like Riff Raff, they think like from G's to Gents, like tiptoeing in my Jordans, like which is like that early on riff, which is like characteristic. Like if you don't like that, yeah, it's gonna be a harder sell. Like you can see or at least for me, I can see the creativity in it. Like not even necessarily like his bars that because he's a rapper, to see like he's got country music songs. He's got 80s synthwave songs. He's got
As a creative, it's a different outlook
like
on
he's
the way.
got 4 different genre albums. Like you tell me you can't find 1 or 2 songs on it that you fuck with. You know what I mean?
Which surprised me. I was like, yo, what is this D'Antoni jump off right now? Like, what's going on here? I'm like, all right. Riff Raff, like, he's got actual talent.
Right.
Like,
Same with, like, Yellow Wolf. Like,
he's fire, too.
Oh, unreal. And it's like, people forget, like, all right, Riff Raff signed to Mad Decent, which is Diplo. And then you got Yellow Wolf, who signed to Shady Interscope, which is Eminem and Dr. Dre, which is like, none of those people have really had any big L's as far as artists, you know what I mean?
Yeah, those are 2 very solid, probably 2 of the most solid camps around here. Besides, Dre and those guys, like, Lil Wayne, the Young Money, but they're definitely the cream of the crop of who they're signed to.
Yeah, and their music is just, I think it's fun to listen to. Like, they make a lot of, like, good party music, or, like,
it is, for sure.
But, being around that, I mean, even like when we first got on the flight down there, like Yellow Wolf was on the flight, and we're like, I had met Riff before, but I hadn't met Yellow Wolf, and I was like, well, I guess we're really doing this one. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it just, everybody in their camp is like real creative, and everyone's like, hey, let's do this, and let's jump on this. Can we do this while we're here? And just like one more fact about Riff Raff's house, like when he was here, he was talking about like how he lives and stuff. His level of hospitality, like as a person that has like other people come to his house and stuff, like he has like a jeweler. Like when I was there, he has like a jeweler like on staff that's just like there. Like, okay, say you're about to take a picture and you don't have an absurd amount of diamond chains on. Frankie Diamonds will just be like, okay, here, hold on a second, let me put like 30,000 diamonds on you, there you go. His personal barber is like always there, like ready to go. Shout out to Maserati Matt. This is a guy who's cutting like famous people's hair left and right. And he keeps a barber on staff, like ready to go. Like, okay, you need to get a haircut, you need diamonds, whatever you need. There's, weed dude or whatever. Like, whatever you need is
haircut, weed, and diamonds. You got it, man. It's fire.
Yeah, cool. Need to borrow an exotic car to go get Red Bulls. Like, it's cool. The keys are here. It's really hospitable. You know what I mean? Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool, especially at their level, man. It's really awesome to hear. So you got that done. Let's backtrack a little bit. Miracle Flow. I'm seeing your gear on everybody right now. I'm seeing pro athletes, I'm seeing musicians, I'm seeing your gear on everything, everybody. Racing?
Yeah. I've had my company's logo on NASCAR, on CNN, and World Star Hip Hop in the last 4 months. Like, that's diversity, Like, for a company that only sells, like, guys' shampoo.
Mullet Champ, you are so, like, specific. You're niche so hard, but it works so well.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic brand. How did this come about? Were you wondering, like, I think I'm going to do some mullet shampoo. Like, how does that happen?
Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I was kind of going back and forth with one of the homies, just talking like, so I play hockey and stuff, but we talked about how there wasn't really like a hockey hair shampoo because hockey and hair were so big, and we just kind of put it together and we're like, hey, we could legitimately start a shampoo company and do this. So, started a shampoo company and kind of immediately realized that like the idea, the concept was a little bit bigger than just exclusively hockey. So we went to kind of like athletes with long hair, rappers with long hair, musicians with long hair.
You got extreme sports people on there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All that stuff, man. It's so cool to see brands like that from Rochester. Do it like there's you. There's PSD. PSD freaking blew up.
Oh, absolutely.
Humongous, man.
Yep.
Shout out to Ryan Flakes, man. He's murdering right now. He's also a super talented artist. That dude is just extremely, ridiculously artistic and creative. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
There's a lot of Rochester people that have finagled their way into mainstream or national, and it's just, you love to see it.
Hell yeah.
You know that like it's for like at least most Rochester people, it's like, how far can I keep this parade going? You know what I mean?
That is absolutely the truth. So 4 or 5 years ago, you were talking to your boy, and you're like, we're just gonna do this mullet shampoo, and just on and popped it and went off, and they grew. How was it? 4 or 5 years? So you're at this point where you're now.
Yeah, I'd say we're like 4.5 years now, and now it's at a point where like, like I said, we have pro athletes that use it, and kind of these different people. We got the Riff Raff endorsement deal, which was huge for us.
You were huge on Riff Raff. You were big on Riff Raff before you even got that deal, which was hilarious.
I was him for Halloween in like 2014.
I was your manager.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. We didn't have time to tell that story. But so like I was him for Halloween, but also I think like, what's cool is like I saw these same 2 dudes on the same episode of Fantasy Factory everybody else did. and it was like in 7 years I was able to get myself to a point where I'm working with them on like creative projects and stuff, and I think that's unique to be able to do, because
they're hitting you on your cell phone, like, yo, Philly,
Yeah.
this is what's up. To be able to go from like, I have this idea to, hey, what's going on? I'll see you guys in 24 hours. I think that's a huge hell of a jump, man.
yeah, absolutely. You know, it's in doing these types of projects is always something that I wanted to do, and I mean, in all seriousness, it's kind of ridiculous that like you knowing me and knowing my career and what I've done, the fact that like I'm doing these things based off shampoo is like we like it, even for me, you're like, all right, that's kind of crazy. But you know, I guess it's just like it's not always what you want to give the universe, it's what the universe needs out of you. So it's like as long as you're getting to the finish line, like whatever, you know.
That's one of the greatest reasons to have you as a friend. It doesn't matter what time it is, doesn't matter what place it is. The last couple phone calls we had, like, yo, Philly, I'm doing this thing. I need a casket for a DJ to spin out of. It's lasers. What do I get? A casket, decorations, and lasers for a DJ to spin out of. And the next phone call was like, yo, Philly, I'm in the car right now. I'm going to Salem, Massachusetts. What's going on? He's like, oh, great. It's 1 in the morning. What are you calling for? And then a whole conversation on what that was about, because you went to Salem, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I got the idea. And I was like, I really want to check it out. I've always been interested and inclined to that kind of stuff, but I fell in love with it when I went there. Absolutely gorgeous place. I never thought I'd enjoy going on vacation to a place that was cold.
Right.
Until I went there, and I'm like, yo, this place is super dope. I was disappointed in the food a little bit, but everything else was fire. Like, I saw a building built in 1670 or some crazy what? Here in the New World doesn't happen like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the food could be round and related. You can't put that on Old Salem.
I'd go back either way.
Yeah.
I would go back either way. See, the food thing, I wanted seafood. So you go to Massachusetts, you want some seafood.
Yeah.
So I went to some place that was recommended. I went there and I was like, yo, what's your catch of the day? And they're like, oh, so-and-so. I'm like, is this caught locally? No, nothing was caught locally. Nothing was
you could
like...
see the ocean from there.
Literally, I could hit it with a baseball. We were on the wharf. There was like dock 15 feet away from me. And he's like, no, nothing's caught. What do you suggest? He's like, oh, the Maine lobster.
What?
I'm like, Massachusetts, I could literally fish off your deck and there's nothing, like, you don't have a perch or anything that you can feed me from, like, because you want that. Like, I go someplace, I want to eat their local delicacy. I want to eat what they eat over there. Otherwise, I feel like it's superfluous. There's no reason for it.
Yeah. I mean, aside from the food, Salem, I would say Salem, as far as like, I was lucky I got to go there like, you know, late October when they're really just like pumping. Cranking. You know what I mean? That's like, I don't know, going to the North Pole in December, I guess, would be.
I don't think anybody's going to the North Pole in December, bro.
Well, you get what I'm saying.
I got you. New York City on New Year's.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, they get...
Are you insinuating the North Pole's not real, though? Is that what you're insinuating?
No, there's definitely a North Pole.
Okay.
But going there in December is not a very likely thing. Listen, if you pulled that one off, Philly...
Yeah, there's obviously a guest list.
You know, listen, if that's what's going on, I'll get a Miracle Flow tattoo anywhere besides my face. Anywhere besides my face, you pull something off in the North Pole, I'm in.
Ah, man. That could be a movie. But yeah, so like... the thing about Salem is like they know what you want and they like give it to you, and like a lot of it is like, you know, kind of commercialized to a certain extent. But like if you spend time there and like or just see it, like you can generally tell like there is a belief system or something there that is genuinely not a joke to anybody. There's people that genuinely, you know, like follow Wiccan culture.
Yep.
You know, sure, there's those touristy things, but then there's some stuff where you're like, it's hard to fake. You know what I mean? I know that's not for the kids.
I took your advice, and I went to the places that were like off Main Street.
Yeah.
There were like little corner shops and stuff like that. You walk into a place and you just observe and you listen. I walked into this one place and I'm hearing them talk about some stuff that was just like level 10. I'm over here like touristy, like, hey, what's this about? Like barely scratching one, and they're over here in something that I couldn't even comprehend.
Yeah.
So, but I fell in love with it. I got a couple books, I got a bunch of stuff, and it's just a really cool way to live. The people that follow that old belief system, they're not flagrant, they're not out there with it. They're very like quiet and reserved with it. A lot of it's, I guess, due to the burning time is when they were like persecuting the witches. And So you find like it's not the ones that are dressed all doing this and black and craziness and out there with it. It's the ones that are quiet, that aren't bringing the attention to themselves. The guy that's quiet in the bookstore, in the corner, that owns the place. That's the one you got to talk to.
Right.
So those are the people I was trying to talk to while I was there. It was fantastic. They were all such like warm and open people. Once you broke that little barrier, be like, hey, I'm a friend, dude. Like, I just want to learn more about what you guys are doing. And it was super cool experience, man. I love the shops are fantastic.
Oh yeah, there's so much shopping. Like, and obviously you were there like during the holiday season, which I'm sure is still its own little vibe.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, like if you're into American history, even like some of these things that like I think a perfect example was like during the witch trials, like one of the supposed witches like put a curse on the sheriff of the town, and like every single sheriff like has died of a heart attack.
What?
Up until they got rid of the sheriff's position in like the early 2000s, because everyone was like, yeah, no chance, we're not running for that. And like now, like it's like it's like weird stories like that where they tell you, and it's like, all right, that's pretty hard to fake that for 10.
Wait.
decades,
Isn't there like a weird title to that? Instead of a sheriff, there's another. Don't they have a title? I could have sworn I saw something. It didn't really register to me what it was. But I thought I saw
like their cop cars have like the witch like over the moon logo, like legit in the movie. Like they know what the people want.
For sure they do.
They know.
They get like 1 million people, like just between the time of September, early September and late October, and it's such a small place.
Oh yeah,
it's such a small place. I was talking to the bartender.
Did you get any souvenirs?
For sure.
What kind of souvenirs?
Oh man, listen, I got the divination dice over here.
Oh snap!
I got this cool bandana, Ouija board bandana. I got some bracelets.
Oh.
Got some bracelets. Got a little necklace. Got a little necklace. It was weird. I've never seen anything with like an evil eye connected to a cross.
Oh, spooky.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, that's pretty nifty right there.
Cool,
It doesn't really happen because in my culture, it's really no crosses at all.
I was there. I bought a like an old school like original like vintage like Ouija board.
Oh, I saw that. And I was like, I'm not touching that yet.
Yeah, you probably seen it in my house, but like I'd say that's one of my more like prized artifacts. You know,
you really legit got some artifacts still. Some of them you built, but they still count as artifacts.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of weird stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, they had one that was like carved out in wood and like burned and stuff like that. And the guy was telling me that's only for like advanced Ouija board.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're just not doing that.
It's not day one Ouija board stuff.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna walk around that and go that way.
You only use those ones on a full moon and they don't work, you know.
You gotta light the right candles, drop the salt, all that crazy stuff.
Make sure your crystals are charged by the full moon, you know.
The whole night.
Yeah.
So it's weird that like that stuff it's kind of hokey. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of hokey when you go there, but under that veil of hokiness, like it's legit. Like there is really some stuff going on. Like if you have any type of sense to the supernatural, there is fully something happening. I went to the older cemeteries. There's 2 cemeteries I went to. One's the second oldest cemetery in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they have the Witches Memorial. I believe it's
like the captain from the Mayflower is buried there. You're just like, dude, that's a flex. Like, still heavy in the day. Like, you know what I mean? Captain the Mayflower, not a big deal.
That's huge. I mean, what else can we find that's that old in this country? Like, there's very few places. Like, that's where it started for the New World, was pretty much Massachusetts for us. The Plymouth Rock, all that stuff. Like, that's the area where the United States came from. So the history there was fantastic, man.
Yeah.
So, did you experience or see anything weird out there? Has my mic been off this whole time? Hey, Gary, have you been hearing me?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm enjoying you guys. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Did I see anything weird? I mean, I don't know. It kind of has like, Salem has the vibe where like you'll see like a group of people that are like dressed strange. Like I saw like what almost looked like you know when you see like a practicing Mormon family, like you can just tell they're all dressed similar and different. Like I saw that, but like on a more like I guess I don't know if there's Mormon vampires, but like I saw that kind of vibe.
A Mormon vampire?
Yeah, and like for all I know,
I don't mean to laugh. No disrespect.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying like they just kind of had that like unique straight like full long sleeve but like gothic looking, and I'm like, for all I know, this is like a wedding party, but then also like it's like 11 o'clock on the day on like a Wednesday, so You know?
You never know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and then it just all people trying to like, that's sick. But like awesome, it's got that vibe that like if you were trying to like score weed, like I'm pretty sure like a vampire looking dude would be like, yeah, I got ace over here. Like, what do you need?
Do you have it's recreation legal?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they got like really.
Great.
In my head, I picture like really, really hot witches like run that whole scene.
It wasn't. It was more like wooks.
Oh,
There were some wooks, and it was very like clean. Like it's weird. You walk in these places, it's like a straight doctor's office. You know, and they got everything lined up in the windows and the glass, and you pick everything through a touch screen, and you know these people are telling you and talking to you, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. My girl goes in there, and she's like, she didn't believe they were going to let her out with this. She's like, somebody's going to tell me no, they're going to stop me, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm like, yo, this is illegal. Just walk in, go to the counter, pay, and walk out. She goes, I can't believe you let me do that.
Yeah. Well, especially like where we're in New York, like when I was out in Las Vegas, we went to a dispensary to experiment with marijuana. And I was the same thing. I was just like, no. Like, it's all like when you're in there for the first time, you're like, this is all a big inside joke. Like, as soon as we got outside, they're like, but no, you can't have this.
Right. Like, where's Ashton Kutcher? Like, you don't believe it the first couple times. When I was in LA and stuff like that, it's more normal. Like, people just walk around smoking weed.
Yeah.
Great.
Really vanilla.
You know what? I'd rather see people walk around smoking weed than walk around shit can hammered.
Yeah.
There's less problems. Just it's better for the person. It's just all around better. You go to places where weed is legal, I feel like everybody's just in a better mood.
Well, I mean, it seems like, well, for me, the only time I ever go to places where weed is legal seemingly is like vacation-ish. So it's just like, okay, well, we're on vacation.
Might as well.
Well, I'm a big believer in when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So, like, if I'm going to Hawaii and do a luau, like if you're going to Jamaica. Or,
Agreed.
You know.
You experience the culture where it's at, where it's from. Hell yeah, for sure. I dig that. You know, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We don't have commercial. What am I talking about? What show am I on right now? It's 106.3 WRFC LP, RochesterFreeRadio.com. We get Philip Montgomery, Miracle Flow, mullet shampoo. Oh, wait. Before we go, what are your favorite mullet names?
I thought we weren't going. I thought there was no commercial.
Listen, forget it. Listen, what are your favorite mullet names? Stick with me here.
Oh,
I didn't sleep at all last night, by the way. 0.
Yeah, we're bouncing all over, but it's all right. I would say the Florida Follicle Fountain.
Florida Follicle Fountain, I like that.
Mississippi Mud Flap.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Mississippi Mud Flap.
The Texas Tailgate.
All right.
Probably not. I feel like there's a indigenous Alabama one, but I'm missing it. But you know, there's you know when you see it.
Head salad. There's that one.
You know, a lot of people call it the salad, the lettuce, the flow. You know, there's a lot of terms. Spicy arugula.
Spicy arugula.
Yeah. But you know, as far as like the COVID situation, you know, like what I do is like the creative something. That dream, over, done. Dream's over. Like that's not even coming back for like a year or so at the level of stuff that I do. So I was really lucky that as one business tanked, the shampoo thing kind of took off because I sell shampoo for guys growing their hair out. And conveniently, they closed every barber shop in the world for months.
That is the best captive audience ever on the planet.
Yeah.
We sell shampoo for guys with long hair.
So
Barbershop's closed.
Oh no, I was like Dr. Evil there for a couple months. Like, yes, they won't be able to cut their hair. They'll have no choice. Yeah. So like that was awesome. So like honestly, like there's a couple times where that during the Rona times, like that kept me sane more for like. Not like the business, the financial end of it, just like, oh my God, I have something to do today, you know?
I think that's what messes me up the most is not having like a set schedule or set thing that I have to do besides like the kids' school thing, man. It's so weird. And there's no like break from being a dad to really anything else. It's fantastic, but as a human being, you need to be able to separate yourself and have your own like thing that you do. And that's one of the most difficult things I found, man. It's just, there's nothing. You're just kind of floating into nothingness. Like, what do I do now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, now it's not so bad because the normalcy's somewhat. People just
50%. Congratulations, all bar owners, restaurant owners, all you guys.
Tell me what you did the month of April, because I cannot tell you for the life of me, like what I did the month of April. Like what? Nobody was doing that. Like I was phoning it, and I don't think I woke up before noon. Like
I don't think anybody did. April's toast. No, nobody had.
Like May, it was just a crapshoot. Like I remember there was one week where I had chicken nuggets and a chocolate milkshake for breakfast, like 4 out of the 7 days in a week, and I was like, all right, man, we gotta get a hobby going here or something, like, you know.
Yeah, my eating habits were just garbage.
Oh, it was airport rules, man. Like start drinking whatever time eat, etc. out there, order some food. Like, I mean, $600 stimulus check. Like, I promise you, I've spent more than $600 on Taco Bell alone
for sure
since this thing started. Like, you know what I mean? Come on now.
It's been a weirdness. Freaking Bar 90, we were open for what, 1 day?
Yeah, that was a bummer, man. That was
heartbreaking, bro.
Yeah. So for everyone listening at home that doesn't know, Bar 90 is a Rochester's hottest 90s theme bar located underneath one nightclub on East and Alexander. No free promos.
No free promos.
It's a bar that I actually designed. It's completely like almost inappropriately overly 90s themed. Like it's just absurd. I think there's like 90s references in there, but it's super cool. Their grand opening was like 2 days before St. Patrick's Day, so that was kind of a bummer. That was a project that I was stoked about, get to see people to see, and then I was just like...
It was great. It was all over the place. It took off, billions of shares. Everybody loved it. Fantastic. And then, shut.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I don't care, like, whatever for me, but, like, for the people that own the bar, like, they put all this time and money into it, too, and, like, they, that's... The old bar owners aren't like, doing so hot right now. Like they all need some love, like when the show's over,
Yeah, everybody does, man. All the restaurants and bar owners right now, it's so messed up because like people assume that they're all just super wealthy and this and that. It's like these people live in regular houses, drive regular cars, they do well, but the expense of running a venue or a restaurant, it's astronomical. The margins are so slim in certain areas of it. I mean, you see the heartbreak in their eyes when they talk about not being able to open and provide a life for their families and themselves. It's been heartbreaking, man.
Well, and it's tough too that like forget like okay, they put all this time and effort into this place, like even when it comes back, like maybe it's too late, like maybe that's not a viable option for them. Like okay, maybe this was their one shot at owning a restaurant or owning something that's
they put their life work into 20 years of savings, planning, all that stuff, and to watch that just being thrown away. What boggles my head on top of it is we've been shut down for almost a full year and nobody thought of reopening or doing anything until the Bills started winning.
That's obviously a coincidence.
What? How in the hell? I'm having people snitch at friends that I've worked with for God knows how long, and other people snitching. Like, how can they do that and I can't do this? And literally just straight up snitching instead of working with people and talking to them personally. Like, cutting each other's throat, and then you got the Bills, yet there's 7,000 people that are going to be allowed in the stadium.
Right.
How many people do you think are going to be in the parking lots around the stadium? Let's not say in the stadium because they won't let them in the parking lots or whatever have you, but you think that there's not going to be hundreds of thousands of people partying in different parking lots and houses and this and that and just going all the way in? The Bills haven't done anything in 25 years.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, God help the city of Buffalo if they actually win.
You know what I mean? It's over. Buffalo is the new capital.
Right.
It's going down.
So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of tough to obviously see that aspect of it, but like, one of those things, it's like sports too big to fail, I guess. So, yeah, and it's one of those things that helps keeps a normalcy. Like, okay, football's happening, I guess it's kind of normal. So, like, I get it in that aspect, but at the same time, like, you can't tell me that restaurants that are at 50% capacity can't be open, but we can have people in the Bills Stadium,
That it upset me to just in such a degree. I'm like, all these people suffering and losing their livelihoods, forget about them until it's time to play some football.
Yeah.
Like, is that where we're at right now? Is that mentally where our government is at? Like, that's what you think people need, man? No, let them open their businesses and work.
Yeah.
That drove me crazy. I couldn't even believe that. So, we're going to take a quick break. 106.3 WRFCLP, RochesterFreeRadio.com, and we'll be back soon.